Sessions, Bigfoot Beyond the Blue Line with Paul Bartholomew. So Paul lives in Whitehall, New York, which is right outside the Adirondacks, and he's actually a Bigfoot researcher as well as other kind of paranormally stuff research. So that was just fun to chat with him, kind of get like a more kind of a scientific approach, if you will, on the subject of Bigfoot, both here in the park and outside. Perfect October content. And then moving forward, October 23rd, the fourth Friday in October, the Adirondack Campfire Stories, another one. This was called The Cabin on Rainbow Lake, keeping it nice and spooky all month in October. The Cabin on Rainbow Lake was from a book called Adirondack Ghosts that I just kind of picked up on a whim off Amazon and read through it. It's just like fun little like kind of a ghost story, ghost stories that have existed or do exist. It's a quick read. I mean, you could sit down and read the whole book in 30 minutes, that sort of thing. But there was one story in it that I was like, that would make a really fun campfire story. So I researched online and found the author, Facebook. Thanks to Zuckerberg. Thanks for nothing, but at least thanks for helping me contact the author of the book. So I shot her an email, and she was stoked on me doing it. She's like, yeah, please, dude, have fun. Just let me know when it comes out so I can listen. And also, you may notice in that episode, The Cabin on Rainbow Lake, episode 71, the various Native American words, Juno Discoa, and, there's another one. Oh, crap, I can't remember off the top of my head now. But I called, so in the story at the end, the person is from from a Native American museum in the park here in the Adirondacks, and I called them to ask them how to pronounce those words. And they worked with me on the phone for like 10 minutes to make sure I had it correct. And I wrote it down, phonetically and everything, so I wouldn't mess it up. So I can say that is not me butchering it like I probably butcher the Nundigo Ridge. That is actually the correct pronunciations of those words. Moving on, here we go. We're almost at the end. We're now into November. So I had a lot of fun with the October session. Oh, shoot, I missed an episode. I can't believe I almost missed this episode. October 30th, the day before Halloween, also known as Hell Night. The final episode of the October sessions. Spooky stories from the Adirondacks. So these were stories that people submitted to me that they experienced. These are stories they submitted to me of spooky things that they experienced or that they know of, and then I took the story that they told me and then I wrote it into like a campfire story. But that's probably my favorite. That might be one of my hard to decide between all the October sessions, but I was really excited about episode 72 because there's three different. It's kind of like three mini campfire stories in one episode, and we go to different parts of the park. So the first one is like the northern Adirondacks. The second story is like the eastern, and then the third story is the western Adirondacks or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But I was really proud of that episode. I'll be honest with you. I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. And I think you guys would too, because there's like a ghost story, there's a Bigfoot story, and then there's like a whole bunch of other weird stories. That's episode 72. But I had a lot of fun with the October sessions. I hope you guys enjoyed them too. Thanks for putting up with me. If you didn't, I appreciate it anyways. But yeah, it's fun making a spooky outdoors ADK content. I hope to do it again this October, and I plan on it. Episode 73, the Summit Sessions number 17, the female unsupported FKT of the 46 High Peaks with Bethany Garrettson and Katie Rhodes. So apologies to Bethany and Katie. We recorded this episode a few days after they got back from completing the unsupported FKT and setting the FKT, I suppose. We got back, or when they got back, but I was like, yeah, I have this whole October thing going, so this is going to sit for a minute. And they were fine with it. It was no big deal. But yeah, you can hear their story of being out there, completing the 46 High Peaks unsupported and setting the female FKT. Fantastic work. Those two are incredible. They're actually out there as I record this episode right now, but doing a supported run, which I think they want to complete in 2 weeks. or maybe 12 days or something like that, of the winter high peak. So they're back at it again, and I know they had talked about the winter on the Northville Placid Trail. So who knows? Those two are pretty crazy, though, what they do out on the trail. Moving forward, episode 74, another episode recorded in my hotel room in Philadelphia. Summit Sessions number 18, The State of the ADK with Eric Schlimmer. This is an episode I highly recommend anybody who loves the Adirondacks to listen to. Eric's opinions on things are so logical and so based on just what's actually going on, and he's so knowledgeable. I don't know anyone who's experienced more of this park and the mountains than this man, but yeah, it's probably an episode that some people might not like, but I got a lot of really good feedback, which I wasn't really sure how I would get, because we get pretty I guess opinionated, I should say, about all things Adirondacks. Eric's from here, I'm from here, so the place obviously holds a place in our hearts. But I highly recommend it if you are a big ADK person. Episode 75, The Summit Sessions number 19, The Barefoot 46er with Joseph Klaus. So this was a somber episode as it came out. Joseph passed away before this episode was released, so he unfortunately never got to hear it. We recorded the episode here in my house, actually where I'm sitting while I record this right now. He was right across from me, literally 2 weeks before he passed away. It was just obviously it goes without saying how much of a bummer the whole thing is. But Joseph's story about becoming a 46er and doing them barefoot is just absolutely incredible. His passion and his love and his high energy attitude towards all of it, and his desire for everyone to come experience this is very contagious. It's fantastic, and I'm so thrilled. And as are so many people who messaged me that his story is out, it's really amazing that I was able to get this recorded, and his story out there, I guess, forever, really, I suppose, at this point. But it's a really, really fascinating story. And if you have any desire to start hiking barefoot, and to give that a go, or you think it's absolutely crazy, listen to it. He's a doctor of chiropractic, and a lot of benefits from it, and he basically puts on a clinic on how to do it. Very interesting. Check it out. All right, that was November 20th. Moving to December 4th. Almost done, people. Summit Sessions number 20. Hiking with Dogs with Dr. Wendy and Bobby. This was a really fun episode too. Another kind of somber one for me. We recorded it the week that we had to say goodbye to our dog Wilson, the Silver Lab. Rest in peace, Wilson. We miss you. But they gave such terrific information on hiking with dogs. They both work at the animal hospital in Raybrook, right between Lake Placid and Saranac Lake. And they basically went through what they see week after week after week and how to avoid certain injuries and certain things they see with dogs. Beware of porcupines. Porcupines tended to be a pretty common occurrence that they found, which I was quite surprised about. It was fun, though. Really fun chatting with those two. They're so knowledgeable. And if you do hike with your dog, or you want to, check out that episode. They are both professionals, and there's so much information for them. There's so much information from them, that they shared. And then another Summit Session, episode 77, Pierre Turgeon's number. This was from December 18th. Summit Session number 21 with Kyle Hates Hiking, a.k.a. Kyle O'Grady. Kyle Hates Hiking is his YouTube name. He has a podcast called the Trail Tales Podcast. We've become friends over social media. Kyle's from Vermont. He's hiked the Appalachian Trail. He's a 46er. He's hiked all of the 48 White Mountains, and obviously a podcaster. So we have a lot in common, him and I. And I was actually just on his podcast literally last night myself. But yeah, it was a fun conversation. It's fun to just talk shop, and just with no real. That episode I didn't have a real agenda so much as just kind of wanting to just talk about hiking, really get into it. And we even get into some Appalachian Trail stuff, which is which is not talked about really on this podcast, since it's basically kind of become more of an Adirondack show than anything else. But maybe we'll venture outside the blue line here coming up. Maybe. And December 24th, Christmas Eve. The Christmas Sessions. The night before Christmas in the Adirondack Mountains. This was the final episode of the year, other than this episode. But this was an idea that I had. I wanted to do a Christmas episode, but I was like, I don't know exactly what to do. I want it to be fun. I want it to be unique and kind of very just so Christmassy. And I was like, I could just do another trail episode and put Christmas music under it and that. But which I'll probably still do because I've done some hiking lately. But I just want to do something really Christmassy. So I just thought maybe we should just do the night before Christmas, but Adirondack style, since that's such a no-brainer, and it's like a book that everybody's familiar with. And it was perfect. My wife pretty much wrote the whole thing. I corrected a few things and changed a few things, but for the most part, that's all her. She did a fantastic job. I love it. I love the episode so much. And I wanted it to feel like, you're just sitting down and someone's reading you the night before Christmas, before you go to bed on Christmas Eve. And I'm going to be honest, it's there. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was a quick episode, quick listen, which is what I wanted as well. It was Christmas Eve when I put it out, so I didn't want to take up much of your time, but I wanted it to be something somewhat memorable for maybe you and your family. But that's it. And then there's this episode. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your lives to listen to, all the stuff that I have to say and my stories out on the trail and in the woods and with other people here on this podcast. It means a lot that people that I don't know would care at all, period, but take time out of their own schedules and their own lives to listen to something that I am putting out. So I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Have a happy new year. I'll see you in 2021. Some new content coming your way and a lot of new ideas. Hopefully time allows for me to accomplish the ideas for new episodes and new format episodes that I have brewing in my brain. But thank you again so much for listening to the 46 of 46 podcast. Check out 46of46.com if you want to learn more about the show or just find out some more things that I can offer via this podcast and via helping you guys get out on the trail hiking. There's some merchandise if you want to support the show in that way. You could pick up a hat or a hoodie or a t-shirt. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. And that'll do it for 2020. It's been a big year here on the podcast. Thank you all for sticking around. That's going to do it. Remember to always leave no trace, do the rock walk. You guys know the rest. Happy New Year, everybody.